I'm here with new backdrops. I'm so excited to start the year off right. We've got two gorgeous new large backdrops from Intuition Backgrounds. I'm gonna open them up, show you what we got. I've been dying to shoot these, so I actually ended up getting a model to come in to model these for me. One is like the most realistic of dreamy windows, and then the other one, well, it's just pretty cool, so I'm gonna show you. First things first, I'm gonna get this out of here. Alright, I'm gonna clear some space so we can roll it out all the way and see what they look like. Oh my gosh, I'm in love! Alright, I just had to get you like somewhat of a closer view because this is just absolutely stunning! Like, for real, so dreamy. Alright, let's roll this one out and see what the other one looks like. Oh, it's pretty. This is gorgeous, so let me show you closer. Alright, so this one is actually a background only, and I'm going to be using a floor with it. This is so magnificent, you don't even, like the camera isn't picking it up. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get this hung up. I'm gonna show you how to hang it up on your backdrop stand. Alright, so first things first, you want your backdrop stand. I'm gonna bring the backdrop stand back here. I'm gonna tell you why I'm gonna bring it as far back as I can. I personally love to shoot with as long of a lens as I can. So I'm going to use my 85mm if I'm able to use it. So I'm going to push my backdrop all the way back so I have all this room to shoot with. You may be wondering why I like to shoot that way. Well, because honestly it spreads my backdrop a lot, and so it makes my backdrop fill up the background more in an 85mm shot than it would a 35mm. So I'm just going to start with one corner and bring it around and clip it to my pole. And then grab the other corner and bring it up to the other side. This one's a little bit longer than my backdrop stand, so I'm just going to let it hang over the edge a little bit. So I'm going to readjust and tighten it until it's nice and even throughout here. And I'm just going to raise it up. Now the backdrop rolls like this at the bottom. I love fixing it by using these little clamps you can get. There are 4 backdrops. I'll have the link for you where you can find all my gear. Now time for the flooring. This one is a simple matte floor that looks like concrete, and I think it is the perfect look for this. And now let's get our lights set up. Okay, so here are the lights that I'm going to be using. First of all, don't judge the condition of the products, okay? I was raised broke, and so we had the mantra, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. It works, it just don't look that pretty. So I'm going to be using 2 different lights for this one backdrop, and it may look like it's a simple lighting setup as it is, but here's my thought process. I want a harsh light on my subject. I want it to be dramatic, not harsh, but I just want it to be dramatic and deep, you know? And I don't want to reflect all of that exactly on the backdrop. I want the backdrop to just be nicely lit. So I'm going to light up the backdrop with this guy right here. That is my Godox AD300, and it's in an 86-inch PLM. Then I'm going to use this to light up my subject. It's an AD200, and this is well, I don't rightfully remember exactly what size this is, but you can see about how big it is. I got it linked in my shop if you want to find exactly it. I just don't remember off the top of my head how big it is. But I'm using this because the smaller the modifier, the more dramatic your lighting is going to be. The wider and bigger your modifier, or softbox, whatever you want to say, it's going to be much softer and less shadows. So if I'm going for soft, I use this, which is why I use this for newborn sessions because I want soft light. But I use smaller modifiers and soft boxes when I do headshots or maternity. I just like the drama that comes with it. So first things first, I'm going to get this guy out of the way. We're only going to focus on this guy. But I am going to say I did a little uh-oh, and I want to change one little thing about my backdrop before I start. So I don't know if you can tell, I have this lovely AC duct in my studio, and it's awesome and all, except it really gets in my way when it comes to lighting. So I want this light to take over most of this backdrop, but if I have it at the height I want, it's only going to be able to come this far and have to stop. So I'm going to move my whole backdrop over as far as I can so that I can light it as far as I can, if that makes sense. Let me show you. I've moved this backdrop enough to where it's like out of the way, and now I'm gonna bring my light over here. So I've got my stand over here, pretty up against my wall, that way I can move everything as far as I can to get away from that. I'm gonna raise this light, I'm gonna tilt it a little bit once my model gets over here, and that way I can just kind of do it all at once because I need it ladder and all that sort of stuff, so I'm just gonna wait for her. But my other light, I'll go ahead and get that set up over here. And I think I'm also gonna put it on this side. Now I might change my mind and bring it over here in a little bit. For now, I think I'm gonna put my light over here. So as you can see, I've got this 8200 in my smaller softbox. It's gonna be able to hit just my model, and it's not gonna be leaving any like harsh lights on my backdrop. And then I'm gonna be able to have my big soft light, my 8300 and that big 86-inch. That's gonna be super soft just towards the backdrop, just to light up the backdrop, because if I didn't have it, it'd be really dark and I wouldn't see the details. And I love this backdrop so much, you have to see the details. So anyway, as far as my settings, I am gonna figure those out once my model gets over here. For the second look, I'm going to take this backdrop down and we're going to put up the second one. The second backdrop is actually a sweep, which is one backdrop for the ground and the backdrop. Okay, so to make my life 10 times easier, I'm going to move my backdrop setup facing that way now because all my lights are on that side of the studio. And I'm basically going to do a backlit sort of setup because the backdrop is a window, so I want it to look like there's light coming in from behind. So I'm going to have the backdrop on that side of the studio facing this way, so the lights are already just in the right spot. It'll make my life easier. So I'm gonna move one mat to the back. That's gonna help keep my backdrop from sliding around anywhere. Look from the window. There's a window right here that's really glowy, and I really want that light to be reflecting onto my subject. So I'm going to have a light from behind the background, raised up really high, peeking over the top behind the backdrop, and I'm going to make sure it hits her hair and everything so she has a nice glow to her. And then I will worry about how I'm going to light her. So first, let me just get the backlighting going. Here's what I'm going to do with my lighting. To make my back glowy light, I'm going to use this right here. It's an 8200. It's got like a tiny little modifier on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to tape some of this like gel paper on top of it. It's like a soft orange. And that's going to give me that soft, warm glow, like that light and coming through the window. So I'm just putting it on top of here like this, and then I'm gonna put this on a stand that has a boom arm so I can raise it above this backdrop. So you can see now this light coming from behind. It should give us a super soft, warm glow. And then for the main light to brighten up the backdrop, I'm gonna do kind of the same thing I did earlier, the same sort of soft effect with this light. And then I'm gonna keep lighting up my model with this 8200 inside of this tiny little softbox.